Cartoons and animations has become the companions of growing infants over the years. Parents tend to use them to keep their kids busy, and it seems to be working for them. But the question is, are we not doing more harm than good? Well, let's find out in this reality podcast on Rem Diamond TV as we talk about the dangers of cartoons on growing infants. And to take us further on this show, we will be having a life coach and an online teacher who is versatile in children development. Nobody else but Blessing Njideka. It's good to have you on the show, ma. You're welcome to the
show, Miss Blessing Njideka.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah, so straight to what we have to talk about, the dangers of cartoon on kids. Well, so many people would not love to hear this news that you want to break to the public now, that cartoon has a negative or adverse effect on the kids. Because over the years, cartoon has become the companion of growing infants. As a matter of fact, parents tend to buy that idea more. I was talking with a parent, was it last week? And then two parents actually, and then one was asking the other, say, have you watched this? I think it was Coco Melon. I was like, don't you know this kind of thing? No, I didn't say, no, you need it for your kids. So I was recommending it like a doctor's prescription.
Wow.
Yes. So, and then my thoughts came back and said, we have a show on this matter. So we need to know if, so you're an expert actually. We've seen your work online, and I must commend your efforts.
Thank you.
Impacting the younger generation and the online teachers as well. Okay. So tell us, from you, I think it will be better and people will take it more. Does cartoon actually have negative impact on the kids? Does it do more harm than good? I think that's the best thing.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Most times like this, when you tend to educate the parents out there about these things, they tend to tell you, because of their busy schedules, and they have to just engage the child so that the child won't be disturbing them. Okay. For example, you tell a parent that this thing is not good. So what do you want me to do? I'm always busy. This is the best way I can engage these children. But it's not. Now, one of the things that actually affect the child, coming from an educator like me, I would say affect that child's academically. Because in a class whereby you have 20 learners and you're trying to teach the children, you see the particular child that is so engrossed in what she is doing, maybe monologuing by himself or herself, or you see them with two pencils, like this violent kind of trait being found in the child.
Yeah.
And also they're always an introvert. Yes, on extra, they're always introverts, because when this child has low social ethics, like just I want to be on my own, I want to be in my own world, this kind of random imagination out there. So that is why it affects the child academically. The child can't concentrate in class, low concentration level, and also in terms of violence too. These cartoons like Tom and Jerry, which exhibits more of violence, mischief, and all that. Now, and also in the aspect of a child growing up in a family whereby the children is kind of, they grew up from cartoon, everything about them. They have this unrealistic expectation about life, how things are supposed to be like. So there are a lot of unrealistic expectation in terms of character, materialism, whereby they watch cartoons like Frozen, or maybe they have cartoons like yes, I've talked about some of the cartoons. Coco Melon. Because most times, apart from Coco Melon being educative, because it depends on kind of cartoon which you have selected, personally went through by yourself, and you picked out for these children to watch. Okay? Because you can't just take the channel and tell the child, you sit down and be watching when I cook in the kitchen. That being there with the child, that being there to know what this child is watching, what this child is being exposed to.
I think you're very right, because according to the World Health Organization, they made an assertion that babies need more human activities
Definitely.
than machines.
Yes, sir.
Than media, using the phone and all those things. As good as that may sound, for a parent who works 9 to 5. Now this is the holiday period. This is the holiday period. I know you might want to say, okay, enroll them for classes, holiday classes, all of those things. They will come back home.
Definitely.
Yes, they will definitely come back home. If cartoon, which has been the savior of most parents, is posing so much danger, then what do you advise? What other ways can we actually you know the aim of this cartoon, like you said, is to keep them busy.
Yeah.
Yes, because the economy is getting hard day by day.
Definitely.
Parents, people who are working 9 to 5, once they finish the 5, they're trying to do another side hustle.
Definitely.
To meet up the needs.
Yeah.
So having distraction from their kids, as much as they need to be there for their kids, can be burdensome.
Yes.
So what other ways, can you advise that can solve that can actually do what cartoon is doing now for the kids?
Okay, now we have, the world is evolving.
Yeah, that's true.
And right now, in this era, if you don't want to accept it, accept the fact that technology is taking over.
Sure.
Yes, so for me, I would actually advise that if that child, because right now, if my child is actually lacking in mathematics and is very good in this IT stuff, and the child is good in computer, or the child is good in music, or the child is good in dance, or this kind of art and crafts, yes, instead of getting a tutor for mathematics, I'll get a tutor for IT or for an art and craft to build that, because that is the child's interest. That is where the child wants to be. Get materials for that child, because you know your child better than I do, better than any teacher out there, better than any motivational speaker going to tell you what you need to do about your child. Know what this child loves to do. Get things around there. Go to the market, to the mall. Get things. We have aids, teaching aids, creative aids that can engage these children to be creative. Before you leave the house in the morning, tell the child, oh, this drawing, I want you to draw this, I want you to do this for me. When I come, I will go through it. And once you get back, go through it. Be involved in your child's life. Because many parents out there always envy good homes, always want to, I wish my son is like that. But this is not magical. It's not wishes. You have to be involved with that child's life. Because sometimes like that, sometimes parents will tell you, why are you going to school? After all, I'm done paying your school fees. So what else do I expect? I expect you to be able to read and learn. I have an issue recently with a particular parent. Okay, not to mention name actually. So this man was kind of angry with the son that, how can I be paying over 200,000 for your school fees, and you're having this kind of poor results? What am I paying your school fees for? You're in the boarding house, you lack nothing, this, that. I said, wow. And you as a father, you're hardly around. You travel, come back maybe twice weekend, the next day you're out again. The mom, always in the shop selling, and businesswoman, all that. When she comes back, the next thing she's doing, she's on her phone. I was observant. I have to really come close to actually know what is actually going on. I discovered that it's not the child's problem. Because if the mother takes it on herself to say, okay, you sit down, what do you want? Look at emotional intelligence, how to relate with those children. It's not about shouting. I do tell my parents, my clients that you don't need to flog those children. That's what we call emotional intelligence, psychological intelligence, where you have to understand your child's emotions, what actually goes well with them, how to talk to them, how to relate with them. Some children will like shouting, some children will like scolding, flogging. Why someone to shout at them? That is end though. That don't got learning. So you must understand this thing. Yes.
So are you saying in essence that every parent who has cartoon in their house now should dispose it?
Yes.
Wow.
I will not really say yes per se.
Yeah.
Okay. It depends on the cartoon.
That's what I'm going to say. Are there cartoons, or is it cartoons in general? Are there cartoons? Because I was quoting the World Health Organization. They were talking about the biological effect it has on the child's brain. Yes. These things look like they're animations.
Yes.
They are figurative expressions and all of those things. Now, some of these cartoon characters have effects on the kids. You know that?
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes are positive. sometimes are negative. But now we are saying, if you are saying we should throw away this cartoon videos from the house, which means we are trying to say that cartoon has more harm
Then good.
than good. Is that what you're saying?
Now, if you will be available as a parent to
Okay,
monitor
to
what
monitor what
what
it
child is watching,
Okay.
and I will say that you should be able to select the one that actually goes well with you for your child. Okay, because what is good for Mr. A might not be good for Mr. B.
Yeah, and that boils down to understanding your child.
Yes. So, like now, let's say I don't like watching cartoon. No, I love animation too.
Okay.
So, because if you ask me now, what do you like watching more? Is it those Hollywood? I think I love animation.
Really?
Yes, I do that. I create animation things. So, for the educative animation, because this works from 0 to 5 years, when you are able to introduce this thing to these children, because it helps them. Okay, creativity, graphics, all those things. But you must know the one you are choosing. You must know the one you are watching. You can't go telling me now to choosing cartoon. I'm watching Tom and Jerry, or I'm watching Mickey Mouse, or I'm watching Frozen. What is the moral lesson there? Or do you want my child to be turning the house upside down? To be destroying my house?
Yeah.
Okay? So to have this unrealistic expectation about life, and if you're not doing it this way, which means you are wrong. Mom, I watched that when I watched that cartoon the other day, they said we should keep our phone like this, not like
Not
this.
like this. Yeah.
Do you understand me? Unrealistic expectation about life.
Sure.
And thereby when your child stands in public, he cannot talk. Understand? And speech formation to become so slow in that child. When that child always glued to the screen and
Yes.
having long screen time for you to live with the child. Hello, baby. How you doing? Hope you're good. The baby is busy watching cartoon. How will the speech child develop? How will the speech of that child develop? At the end of the day, at the age of 6, 7, the child is finding it difficult to put 2, 3 phrases together to make a sentence, which is quite wrong. So that is why we must be deliberate about these things. Not magical. You just have to just put yourself and say, no, if I have to get the result I want to get, I must be involved in this thing. If your husband is the career person, you be the home person. Right now, the world is revolving to an extent whereby you can work from home remotely. Must be involved. So some person will tell you that, oh, okay, if I'm not around, then let my money do the job for me. Let me employ someone. Yes, to do the job for me.
Yeah. So that's why people like you come and play.
Yes, if you're ready to pay us, they come in and do the job for you, but make sure that you're going for the best. Make sure that if you're going to get someone to be there for your children, to be there for them, to be so exceptionally good out there, they must go for the best.
Yeah, because I've seen cases where the only mistake the parents did or made was to employ a tutor. I've seen tutor who spoiled the life of children.
Definitely.
It's not even just about whether opposite sex, molestation, all of those things. I mean, like you just said, the best. But I feel even in the best, there's always a negative part on every tutor. You see, once you see the children tend to quote, mimic the tutor and take their words more seriously than even that of their parents.
Okay.
So the parent is saying this, he say no, my auntie
said. Yes, I've had situations like that. Yes.
Do this. No, my auntie said it is not like this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So some insecure parents begin to feel what's happening. Are you taking over my child?
Yeah.
Or am I begin to have the final say on my child's life than the parents? And if you were to be a parent, I'm sure would that go well with you?
It actually has to do with influence.
Yeah.
Who the child spends more time with.
Exactly.
You understand? I've had situation by the parents will tell the child, I'm going to call Miss Blessing right now. I'm going to report you to her. And then it's like, okay, ma, I'm going to do this. I'll do it. I'm like, come around the man tells me, I don't really do anything. I'm not a magician. And I'm not flogging this child. It's the respect they have for you. Take your word for it.
Yes.
That is why around that child, you must be careful as an educator because anything you are doing, they're picking it. Okay? I have some clients I'm working with right now that I'm tutoring their children. So, along the line, one of the nanny did something wrong, and I had to call the attention of the parent. They were like, "Wow, thank you so much." Okay, I think I don't really resort to violence in my tutoring. I don't flog my children.
Yeah.
So the nanny actually spanked the child. I was like, really? When I was giving my weekly reports to the parent, how the lesson is going and all those things, I have to tell the parents that, "Ma'am, look at what has happened during like yesterday. I didn't sit well with me. I think you should call the nanny to order." You have to be patient with these children, most especially 0 to 5 years. Go and get this book. They hear you. But for them to react the way you want them to react, they'll still be there trying to pick something from the floor. And once you start hitting them, they wonder, "I was about going, why did they not flog me?" So that was what really happened. So that is it. So for the child to be able to have that influence from the teacher based on communication, and also who that child tends to relate with emotionally. If you're the kind of parent that always shouts, scold, insult, "Are you stupid? Are you mad?" While the teacher is the kind of person say, "Oh, really, John, what happened? Really? Oh, I'm so sorry. Do it this way." Being patient, definitely, naturally, human psychology, we tend to think towards that teacher.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
There's this maxim of teaching that is from the maxims of teaching from simple to complex. That's when you want to teach a child, from simple to complex. And then we have categories of children where we have slow learners, fast learners, all of those things.
Yes.
But I feel, not that I feel, I've witnessed where there's this child, he's actually a slow learner. Do you get it? Now, at class, having the activity of human, during class activities, he doesn't really pick up well. He's kind of very slow learner. Very, very slow. And then he doesn't pick up well activities, class activities, it's always lagging behind. So now, the teacher now introduced the parent to a cartoon. She will play that cartoon for the child to be watching. That from there, it will make the child, maybe the child will be able to engage more when he's with visuals, when he's seeing those displays and to pick up. And then, according to the parents, she said she gave teaching that is from simple to complex. That's how you teach, from simple to complex. Now, but there are categories, or there are kids who are actually slow learners, who find it difficult to even move from simple to complex. Do you get it? Yeah. So there was a scenario where there was a child like this, and then the teacher recommended that the parent get a certain kind of cartoon video for the child to be watching, to see if the child was kind of very introverted, to see if the child will pick up and get excited with those learning this thing coming from visual. So and then the parent said she did that, and then before you know, the child picked up, the child moved, and then began to engage more in class. So if we're saying cartoons are very harmful, we should discard them, then what of this part that cartoon does? And then you're trying to say it's an educational material or something. There's a difference between educational material and cartoon. I really need you to explain more about that.
Yes, because now there are educational materials whereby approved in school that you can use to teach your children.
But they are cartoon form.
Animated, yes. Now, for example, when the teacher actually use, it's not cartoons, it's visual aids. It's visual
But I thought cartoon is a kind of visual aid.
No, it's animation. No, they are different. Now, cartoon, it's a kind of it's like a animated characters by different this. But now there are advantages to these things.
Yeah.
You understand? So that is why in a class they have the visual learners. These ones are the ones that if you are teaching them something, you have to just show them the video. You can tell the child, sit down and watch this thing. At the end of the day, ask the child questions and get feedbacks from what was watched, and just use that as a teaching aid to teach that child. But it's not cartoon. Do you understand? Yes. It's not for pleasure. No, cartoons was just watch for pleasure. Let me just sit down and watch the cartoon
Okay,
and
you're saying
watch.
those was half
Yeah, they have educative.
Yes, that follows the curriculum of learning. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because sometimes I do use that too.
No, okay. So it's not as if cartoon in general are bad, but the kind of
Cartoon you watch, the kind of cartoon you expose your child to is
Yeah.
what determine how that child will reflect tomorrow.
Now, my producers already wanting me to cut off time. But now, what advice, what description can you give? You just said the kind of cartoons. Some of these parents don't know what kind of cartoon to allow their children watch.
Okay.
So, is there a place where they can get this information? Because if you are ignorant, you are limited.
Definitely.
Yes. So some parents give their children cartoon, let them just watch.
Yeah.
But like now you are giving us support. Is there educators, the public? Is there how do we know? Yes, that's the question. How do we know cartoons that are educative and cartoons that have adverse effects?
Now, you know these cartoons by what they actually display.
Okay.
You know. Now, there are cartoons that I actually watch that when I look at because one thing, the reason I actually watch my own cartoons is because I'm a designer, so I'm into animation, so I critiques, look at what the love says, okay, I know what to do here, what to design here, and all those things. So there are cartoons that teaching visual aids that teaches that child the right pronunciation of vegetables, fruits online. Most especially when you make use of your YouTube. Okay, your YouTube. Okay, can you say vegetables, names of vegetables, topics like that. Once you type those things, they clear pop up. Not just cocomelon. Okay, parts of the body. You understand? So when you type this thing on YouTube, because most times like when you give these children your phone, they know where to go to.
Exactly, that's true.
So you have to just click on it and also put that cartoon for that child to watch through visuals. Most of them will won't leave the cartoon alone and just be doing something else. Which means I'm more interested in doing art and crafts. I have a client that we're actually learning through visuals, and as the thing was playing, I was explaining what they were doing and how it should be done. The child was like, I don't understand. Let's not do something else. This thing is boring. I also understand that this child is more practical.
Yeah, that's true.
Practical. So I had to involve material. I went to the market, bought some things for us to use. And the next thing, child is speaking. Understand your child's personality and follow that child the way they are. Don't compare. Yes, avoid comparison.
Yes.
Obi is doing, why don't you do it?
It gives them this inferiority.
Can't you see your mates? No. At that particular point, you're just bringing down the child's self-esteem. And the child will not be withdrawn. My mom wants me to be perfect.
It looks like you've met a wide range of kids out there.
Oh, why? Like, and we are still meeting lots of clients out there. So.
You've heard from the expert, our coach, understand your child. We are not saying cartoons are totally bad, but the kind of cartoon you expose your children to is actually the problem. Yes. If you are stuck with knowing what kind of cartoon you want your children to watch, you can contact us and we'll lead you to Miss Blessing. She will give you some treats. Thank you so much, Miss Blessing.
Thank you for having me.
Show.
Thank you.
We'll see you again.
Thank you.
So until I see you again next week, I remain your host, Joshua. Bye.